Did not tell you, did not tell you, did not tell you. Recap, breakdown, Easter eggs, Cobra Kai Season 3. Let's go. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Klepcx FM, brought to you by WeAreCritics.com. And it's finally here, and I know a lot of you have already seen it, but Cobra Kai Season 3 just dropped, and I'm ready to talk about it. Listen, disclaimer, if you have not seen this yet, please stop right now, because we're about to go full on spoiler. Stay away from the comments, stay away from the video, because I'm giving everyone free reign. If you haven't seen it by now, then maybe you're just a casual fan, but I know anybody that was really ready to see this stayed up at 3 a.m. and watched this thing, or even it may be midnight if you're on the West Coast. But like I'm saying, so this is it, my full recap. We're gonna break this down. We're gonna talk about all the Easter eggs, all the spoiler events that happen in this, and maybe even we're gonna talk about, theories, fan theories, speculation, what's to come. Let's go right off rip. Listen, the bullies got what the bullies deserved this season, right? I mean, it was a hell of a ride for me from jump. Like I said, I've been holding this in, wanting to talk to you all about this for some time, and I'm glad that the responses that I'm seeing, a lot of people are seeing this. Even my brother, like I didn't even tell my brother or let him see when I got to see it, and he's finally watching it right now. And I'm getting text messages from him, about, oh, Chozon, yo, fire, like, yeah, man, they nailed it. They did their thing. They did a damn good job this season, I think, and the response is it's the same. From what I'm seeing, everyone's feeling exactly the same, which is good. But I told y'all, I said this was going to be a hell of a ride, and I said that, I'm so glad that I didn't spoil it for a lot of people. I didn't spoil it for a lot of my friends either, because I wanted them. I knew that they were diehard fans, and I knew they were going to appreciate the payoff. But let's talk about this real quick. So, I love the dynamic with the bullies now getting a taste of their own medicine, which, like I said, these guys are good at doing the gray area thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's never going to be just one way. Never going to be one way. So, season 1, season 2. Well, season 1, we got bullies who were, antagonizing the underdogs, like Eli, aka Hawk, Dimitri, even Miguel, and then even Bert, and then they end up going to Miyagi-Do. They end up going to Cobra Kai, and then they all build up a little bit of courage, a little bit of strength to fight back. And then this season, the bullies, Cobra Kai, are now being antagonized by, because some of those underdogs became full of themselves, like Hawk, who's always been like one of my favorite characters. I don't care whether he's good or whether he's bad. He's always been one of my favorite characters. I always saw something in his character that had broader dimension. Like, I felt like his transition from underdog to tough kid to then turning into a bully himself was pretty interesting. He's probably one of the most interesting characters in this whole series, and even more so than Miguel. Miguel, he's like the play it safe character. Like, he's the Daniel LaRusso. We've seen that already. We've seen that in many other bully underdog storylines. So we champion him because it's a safe thing to do. But it was cool to see the twist at the end of season 1, where he kind of trickled on the dark side a little bit, but then he kind of came back a little bit in season 2. He was kind of playing both sides, but by the end of it all, you guys saw in season 3, he's pretty much he's a good guy. He's always been a good guy. There's always been like an underlining good guy thing with him. The big surprise, even though it got a little predictable as the storyline went on, the big surprise was the transition that Hawk made. So trust me, when that scene happened at the very end, I was like out of my seat. I was like, yo, let's go, Hawk. Because Hawk, like I said, he's always been my favorite character, and he's badass, dude. Like, come on, man. Like, if there's a better fight, if there was a better fighter on the series, I'd say it. But I think Hawk is probably one of the better fighters on the series. I said that in my last video, but yeah, I thoroughly enjoy his character. Dimitri, on the other hand, he surprised me a little bit because he wasn't. Even though it's hard to buy, he's hard to buy. He's a hard sell. Like, every time I see him, I barely take him seriously. But he's not a pussy. Like, he steps up. Like, there's a lot of scenes where he's showing a lot of backbone, and I think Yasmin has a lot to do with that. When I said that, Yasmin kind of helps out the arc of one of the other characters. He was the one I was talking about, because I really think that having that strong, attractive female in his life kind of gave him a little bit of chest hair. And even his friendship with Eli, he's always been, a ride or die with his friends and with his team, if he feels accepted. So I like that dynamic. He surprised me a lot, like seeing him transition and then team back up with Hawk was a really, really great treat. Other things that stood out to me in this series that I really enjoyed. Did you guys catch the callbacks? All the callbacks that I was mentioning when I said that there was the props with the sunglasses from Daniel hiding his black eye. There was also the scene when they go back to school, Dimitri and Eli kind of Hawk. They almost go at it, and then the teacher comes by, and then he puts his arms around them, and like, we're all pals. That was like the same thing with Daniel in Karate Kid when Cobra Kai saw him in the schoolyard, and the professor walks by, and they pretend that they're friends. Like, that was a good callback. Also, the callback when one of Kris's flashbacks, when he's being trained by his sensei. And we're going to talk more about this, because this is probably the most brilliant thing that they could have dropped into this series that I really, really enjoyed. When he drops him down, when he throws him to the floor, and he goes, hi, and he says the line, "You lose concentration, you're dead meat." Come on, everyone that knows Karate Kid knows that is a very popular line from the original Karate Kid that Kris does to one of the students in the class. But before we get into the John Kreese stuff, let's talk about the return of Okinawa, the return of Kumiko, and also the return of Chosen. This part of the series was probably like one of the best payoffs where Miyagi is concerned. Like, I've been saying this for Jump, that like they have a great way of bringing the Miyagi-esque vibe back into this series, even though he's not there. And it was so brilliant. Like, we got the crane kick, we got the drum technique, we got the kata, but it was also great to see that there was a new technique, a new finisher move that Daniel knew nothing about, because this whole time he's always been taught, defense this, defense that. That's the real karate. We never strike first. But then Chosen, now we get an understanding about Chosen's teachings and his style of fighting, and why he was coming at Daniel the way he was coming at him, because he clearly saw him as a villain. Everyone has their own story. We look at things in the 80s as one-sided. There's good, there's evil. No one ever thought about, what was Johnny Lawrence's story until 2020. 2018, I should say, but no one thought about what was Chosen's side of the story. You know what I mean? Like, he felt threatened by Daniel and saw him as a clear-cut enemy, because, they were going at it for a little bit of time. And his style of fighting, it was Miyagi though, but in a attack type of, not just defense but also offense. And it was cool that Daniel didn't understand it. He didn't know nothing about that, and because that wasn't in Daniel's character. We know that he was being bullied. He was never the instigator in his mind. In his own story, he was never the instigator. He always looked at it as defense, and that's why he always sucked at offense. If you watch all of Daniel's fights, he was always getting his ass kicked for a good 5 to 10 minutes within the fight, and then he would kill them with a finisher. Like, that's literally the story of Daniel LaRusso in every single Karate Kid movie. So it was good to see like that new technique, the pressure point thing. And we got an awesome glimpse of that at the end of the series. It was a great payoff. And then that's when I kind of, was just like, okay, I'm done with the older guys. What's going on with the younger generation? But yeah, it was cool to see Cho-Sang come back. They even gave a nod to the little girl that Daniel, saved on the bell during the hurricane. Like, that was brilliant. Like, never saw that coming. I mean, they gave you all the fan service they could give you for anyone that was a real Karate Kid fan just in those 2 episodes. I believe it was episode 4 and 5 when he goes to Okinawa or something like that. But just those 2 episodes alone was the meat of everything Miyagi. That's all they needed. So, like I said, in future, I think I'm going to need Hilary Swank. I'm going to need the next Karate Kid to then meet Daniel and kind of bring Miyagi vibes back into this thing. Because Julie, her name is Julie. I just think that, that would be a great way to pay respects and to continue the legacy, because like I said, he's the only thing that connects next Karate Kid with the original Karate Kids, Miyagi. He's the only thing that glues them together. He brings up Daniel LaRusso one time in the whole movie, and then you never hear anything else ever again about it. So I think it would be brilliant to bring her in, even for a little bit. More bringing people back. What you guys think about Allie? I'm not gonna lie, I loved the dynamic. I really, and I'm glad it ended the way it ended, because I didn't want her to become Johnny's girlfriend. Like, I'm cool with him dating Miguel's mom. I think that she's a better fit for him in today's, story arc. I think that she served her purpose, and they ended it on a note where we may never see her ever again. They didn't give it to us in a way where it was forced and like, oh, now we're gonna have another one here in the show. Like, they gave us enough. She's here for the holidays. She comes in. They remind each other of what was and the good times that they had, and then he got his closure, and bam, she's out. Everyone got their closure. Daniel got his closure. Johnny got his closure. She even met Daniel's wife, and then it was over with. Cool. I was so great with that. That's all they need. They did a great job bringing her back. Deuces, Allie. We don't need to see you no more. So I'd like to know what you guys thought about that. I think that was like a brilliant move that they did. That it was just kind of brief. They built up to it enough where we wanted it and we got it. And then it kind of ended on a great note. Like, I thought that it was that was a really smooth in and out. Now let's talk about the real story of season 3. The real story of season 3 is an overall straight up Cobra Kai origin story that we so needed. And I don't even think we realized we needed it until we got it. We've heard backstories, and I feel like Karate Kid Part 3 served its purpose, because they say whenever there's a third installment in a story, it's usually a trilogy, and a trilogy always goes back to the beginning and tells you things about the current story that you didn't know anything about. If you didn't know that, see a movie called Scream. It brings you all the way back. At first, I thought they were going to tell us a Miyagi story, because we saw the Ford, we saw the car, and I was thinking, this is going to be like a Miyagi backstory, but they show a bully come into a restaurant. We think, based on the way he's acting, maybe it's Kris, but then they surprise us, and it's not Kris. Kris is actually the guy who's getting bullied, and you follow that throughout the entire season, and it's placed in strange places. A lot of people were kind of over it. They were like, this is kind of I've seen people say that they didn't like it. It's too much. They didn't care. They cared more about what was going on with the current storyline. But it was so necessary, and the payoff. My God, the payoff. Yo, listen, if you didn't understand what they were doing and setting you up for, you need to really go back, because there's a name drop that I didn't catch until the second time I watched it, but I knew by the end who a certain person was when the resolution in the last episode happened. When Kris rescued. Well, they were being rescued by all the soldiers, the American soldiers, and they were letting each one of these guys out of the cages. And Kris talks to one of the guys comes on, and he's like, you know, he's telling this guy, anything you need, I got you for the rest of your life. He's like pleading, you know, his life. He's calling himself a servant of this guy now because he feels as though he was saved from a death situation. I knew immediately that was Terry Silver. And if you didn't catch that, if you watch further back in the storyline, there is a name drop. The sensei, the general, the guy in charge, I don't remember his name, even though I've seen it so many times. It's just a character that I don't really pay attention to. He says Silver. He calls the guy Silver. And there you go. Like, name drop, it's solidified. Terry Silver has been teased, and I guarantee you he will be back in season 4, because at the end of the season, John Kreese picks up that phone and he says it's been a long time. Now, it's either going to be Terry Silver or it's going to be Mike Barnes, but I guarantee you, one of the two, I think it's going to be Terry Silver. He's coming back, and they have unfinished business with the kid now that Miyagi's gone. So I think that was brilliant, the way that I really think that this season is really tied into the origin of Cobra Kai. I don't think everything else was kind of a backdrop to that. You see that this is heavily about John Kreese and about his journey and his life and everything that he's been through and what's brought him to who he is today. And I think we needed that. I think that was cool because we got Johnny, we got Johnny's story, we got Daniel's story. Why is John Kreese the asshole that he is? You know what I mean? Like, why is he such a hard ass? And why now they just humanized him? All they did was humanize him. Now we understand why he is the way he is and why he feels the need to teach these kids the way that he's teaching these kids. And let's talk about these kids, because, dude, Tori, listen, halfway through that season, I was scared the shit out of me. That girl is crazy, and she's going through enough where she's on the edge. She's like the new, I can't even say she's the new Johnny, but she is definitely on the edge, and needs serious talking to, some help or an ass kicking or something, because that girl is ruthless and jealous and just nothing. Things are not wired right, man. She's great, man. Tori is she's a loose cannon, man, and she's not. You know what's weird is that she's a loose cannon, but she wasn't as bad as how Hawk went. Like, Hawk, man, for a while he was scaring me. I was like, yo, how dark is Hawk gonna get? But Tori, man, she is she's a problem. She's a problem. But I'm curious to see what goes with her, because I feel like Tori, Hawk, and Kreese had the better arcs in this whole season. I think that they are the ones to pay attention to. The biggest changes and the biggest stakes are within those three characters. Kyler, I like Kyler. I think that it was a great dynamic to bring him into the picture to really wake Hawk up from his ways, because Kyler is really responsible for the switch of Hawk. We could thank Kyler for that, because Hawk got a piece of his own medicine, and he understands that where he came from and where he has been going. He literally turned into Kyler, and he couldn't stand Kyler. When he had that one-on-one with the big kid that was with Kyler, and he whooped him up, you could see the anger, the fear, the frustration. He took it all out on the floor, and I think that's what he needed to kind of snap out of it, because for the longest time he was holding all that in. He was trying to be the cool kid, but he's really holding that in. And another person who kind of helped him switch that over, and we're going to get into him, because I'm not going to lie, he is probably my least favorite character right now. I cannot stand Robbie, and y'all can say whatever you want, but I have not been a fan of Robbie since episode 1. And I think that the writers, I think the creators are going to lean on that, and I think they're going to use him and make him the best bad ass they've had on this show yet. I don't want to see him switch back to a good guy. I want to hate to love this kid, and I think he's going to be the new Johnny Lawrence, and I think we're going to appreciate it. I hope that the writers key into that. Like they tune into that because they tried to play him as the good guy for a while, and I don't think it was working. For the longest, everyone was champion Miguel. Even when he was Cobra Kai, people were champion Miguel. So I think that they're paying attention to us. They're paying attention to you. They're seeing where the alliances are, where the loyalty is, and they're gonna make Robbie bad, like real bad. And I think it's a damn good idea because honestly, he's really he's not my fan favorite. Like he's kind of forgettable. When you watch the season, he's there and you're on his journey and you see the things that he's going through, but you can see the transition happening episodes in, like probably like 1 or 2 episodes in, you already know, yeah, this kid's going to Cobra Kai and he's got his daddy issues. He's very vengeful. He's a whiny. He's just everything, man, me, why? Like I'm over it. Like, yo, turn him bad, make him the baddest villain you could ever make him, and then let him go at it with Miguel once again, and let Miguel beat him fairly, the way he deserved to beat him fairly. I'm over Robbie. He's like my least favorite character on this whole thing. But yeah, Sam, she had an awesome transition. I like how they played on, the Karate Kid Part 3 storyline with the whole fear, the Mike Barnes thing, and Daniel comes in and teaches her the way Miyagi taught him. Excuse me, I always do that. The way Miyagi taught him, it's okay to lose your opponent, but don't give in to fear. You know what I mean? Because she was scared, like the whole. But I don't blame her. Tori is a freaking lunatic. I would have been hiding from her ass too. This girl's not afraid to almost punch her in the face with spike knuckles. So yeah, I thought her transition of getting her courage back, like the whole team, the ending when these guys band together and Eli's on their side and Miguel's on his side and Dimitri and Sam, she's like, I'm not afraid of you. Like that's a powerful moment, like because this I feel like it's just funny, but this season is like the Empire Strikes Back. It's like the bad guys are kind of on top, and these guys, they're like, no, this is not going down the way it's going down. We're not afraid of you. Bring it. Which led me to saying that this season really had no resolution. I said that before, and I was like, I'm giving away too much. There's no resolution in this season. It literally takes from season 2, drops you in season 3, and it says, wait for it. Wait for it. Yeah, and I love that. Who knows? I think they still got 2 more good seasons in them before this thing is like, okay, how much longer can this thing go on with no police stepping in, no legal situation stepping in? The only one who got any repercussions was Robbie, and it was light, very light. I don't even know how many months he supposedly did, but he was definitely in and definitely out. I would love to see that kid who was fighting with Robbie in jail come out and join Cobras, because that kid was badass. He looked like he has like some boxing skills, because even though Robbie was whooping on him, he was giving it right back. He looked like a badass. So I wouldn't mind if they brought him back for season 4 and put him on the Cobra team, because Robbie is like full on leader right now. He looked like he's like King Cobra under Kris. Yeah, man. I mean, that's about it. If there's anyone that I didn't break down, let me know. And I want to know what you all thought about Cobra Kai season 3, because I told y'all from jump, I was gonna enjoy this. I said that it was gonna be a hell of a ride, and based on what I'm seeing, you guys agree, and I want to know. Let's talk about it all. What did I miss? Was there anything I didn't cover or didn't talk about? But the Easter eggs definitely point towards Terry Silver. He's definitely on his way. He's coming. We saw an interview where they did a reunion for a charity event with Josh Gad, and Terry Silver was in that. They didn't mention anything. They didn't drop hints or anything like that. Allie kept her mouth shut. We didn't even hear anything about her showing up, but they were there, which means they've been in communications and everybody's been talking. I'm telling you right now, it's either going to be Terry Silver, Mike Barnes, or both, or just one. You know what I mean? They're definitely coming back. Another thing that I did want to talk about before I head out is, now that we have 3 dojos, we have Miyagi-Do, we have Eagle Fang, we have Cobra Kai, but Eagle Fang and Miyagi-Do are kind of a unit right now. I think there will be another dojo coming, and this is why I think that. I remember I'm saying this, because when they show Kris hanging up that poster for the 51st annual All Valley tournament, it have dawned on me that even before Miguel, sometime after Daniel, who has been the champion? Like, where's that storyline? We have a whole gap. We have a 30-year gap of whoever has been the leader, the lead winner, or where's that dojo? Like, where between all of those, when Daniel wasn't around and he wasn't fighting anymore, and before Cobra Kai returned, where's that gap? There's a champion out there, or a former champion, that we haven't seen yet. And that's why I think Mike Barnes fits in. Maybe there's another dojo out there. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know what you guys thought about Season 3 Cobra Kai. Let me know what you think about my reaction, my recap, my breakdowns, my Easter eggs. Please let me know. Let's talk about it all. And as always, guys, like, comment, share, subscribe. I thank y'all for stopping by. Make sure you all wake up, be passionate, create, repeat. And I'll talk to you later. Peace.